I was hungry for a new RPG, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 arrived just in time. I even took a calculated risk of pre-ordering, which I very rarely do, but I was completely convinced from everything I saw that I was going to enjoy this game. So, was it worth the pre-order risk? Yes it was. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, or KCD2 for short, is a wonderfully handcrafted RPG developed by Warhorse Studios located in Prague in the Czech Republic. This game has a huge emphasis for the historical location of the game in 1400s Bohemia. The game has had a surprisingly massive turnout as well. It's even peaked, as of now, 1:36 p.m., February 9th, at over 256,000 players on Steam. Which I know more people than ever have PCs now, so this next statement might be a little inflated, but this is a higher peak player count than Witcher 3, at least on Steam. It's extremely impressive. This game centers around you playing as a bodyguard to your liege's son, and you are on a mission to settle a peace with a neighboring power when everything goes horribly wrong. You are stripped of everything you own, literally, and have to work yourself back up in gear and in skills. It's a great riches to rags, back to riches game, and I've enjoyed the process of doing so in the game. This is a historical game, not fantastical, so you're not going to be running into dragons or mythical creatures, but real people and real problems to solve and many decisions to make. It's a slow and savory experience, and it's well worth the time put into it. If you're worried about playing this game without playing the first one, don't fret. A summary of the first game's events will be given to you, and I didn't struggle too much on learning the game. A great launch is vital to the health of your game. If you have a bad launch, whether the game becomes fixed or not, you alienate a lot of the players from ever returning. KCD2 has had such an astounding launch, and I had little to no issues playing the game. I've only had a few clipping issues during cinematics, but the rest of the game is surprisingly optimized. My frames never stuttered, and I have not had one single crash playing this game. I still don't understand why AAA games can't get this right. This game is not made for everyone. It's made for a very specific audience that enjoys the slow burn of a good RPG, and not the constant rush from combat to combat. I love it when studios know their audience, because you should make games for your target audience, not trying to get everyone. If your target audience is happy, word of mouth will spread, and others will be curious and will want to try new things, as shown by the player count of this game. This game does require a lot of time, and is very focused on the journey rather than the destinations, but the time inputted is so worth it. If you want action more than adventure, you may struggle to enjoy this game. There is lots of action here, but you have to go through the adventures leading up to this, and a lot of highly satisfying jobs as well. One example I will use is alchemy. In most RPG games, if you have the materials, you go to a workbench and you instantly craft the item. This is not the case here, as you actually go through the process of pouring the wine base, adding ingredients, boiling the ingredients, grinding them. All this has to be done according to the recipe, and at first it bothered me until I saw how fast I was progressing in the skill and how rewarding the perks were. Very soon, I was producing potions like crazy, and became my main source of acquiring gold at the beginning and preparing for future fights. It reminded me a lot of how you level your skills in a game like RuneScape. In RuneScape, you didn't combat all the time, but you had a lot of joy of the process of leveling your skills. Like putting on some music as you enjoy the process and you see that number go up. KCD2 is so immersive with doing crafting this way, and I learned to love it very quickly. Learning all of your skills and practicing them becomes so rewarding as you become a master of them. I had all the potions I needed for combat. I trained myself in warfare and became stronger and smarter with every encounter. Interacting with this world is so fascinating, and I could not stop playing. One thing I appreciate in the world of KCD2 is how little you feel. You're not some supernatural hero or legend, but just a guy trying to serve his liege lord and do the right thing. Or, for some playthroughs, do the absolute wrong things and be a criminal. Your smallness helps exemplify the vastness of this world. All the regions have various towns and points of interest to explore, and they all feel just so alive here. The NPCs go about their day, and they aren't completely revolved around you, the player. They have their own banter as well, and sometimes they'll mention key locations that might hide a secret, and you have to decipher where that is. I feel completely immersed in 1400s Bohemia, and it's so nice to get lost into it. You can also only fast travel between the main locations on the map, so the rest of the areas you do have to actually go out and explore, whether on foot or on horse. This works well on having the player actually appreciate the vastness of the map, and run into all the little wacky encounters you may have all the way to and from the major towns. As you fast travel, there's always a role of running into a random event. This can be an interesting NPC or a team of bandits trying to mug you. The landscape looks beautiful, and the audio sounds so realistic with everything you do. I would get to a town and learn about everything going on in the surrounding area. You would talk to NPCs to hear about interesting points of interest, and they'll mark it on your map as well. The more you talk to them, the more you actually discover. There's also so many different speech checks that can lead to so many various outcomes and influence me to go make those skills better. The skills are leveled by reading books, talking to trainers, or doing that action. Similar to games like, again, RuneScape or Skyrim. But I feel like it's done so much better here. Everyone was so interesting to talk to. There's a thick amount of dialogue to go through. You also have to pay attention to what they say, as your journal will not show all the details of the quests, and they reveal very important information for you to remember. This forces the player to engage in the story and not just clock out and expect the overuse of markers or reminders to flood your screen. This made me feel smart and like an adult, and not a child that had to be reminded of everything. I miss the old days when games didn't hold your hand completely, and I appreciate that games are starting to trust that the player can figure out things out on their own. Was there some frustration with learning the world and the mechanics? Well, yes, of course, but it's part of the process of bettering yourself as a player, and it felt good once I finally understood how things worked in this world. I truly feel like a noble knight, trying to build myself up to accomplish the task of my liege lord, and it's just so darn good. I'm completely impressed. Also, you can't quick save in this game, which I'm kind of 50-50 on, as I'd like to quick save to do a lot of stuff to see what happens, or to beat up someone who insulted me and not having to face the consequences. But Warhorse wants you to face the consequences. I understand why they do this, but I feel like this should be an optional checkbox feature at the start of the game. Going 40 minutes for getting to save just to die and lose all the progress is frustrating on your first playthrough. There's also so many times I just need to save and exit before a big fight, and it can break the pace of the game. But it's better doing that than losing a half-hour progress when you don't have any save potions. And yes, I know, get good, make more save potion, I got it, I'm on it. But still, it's a gripe for the more common player. There's so many feelings when I play this game. The thrill when I successfully overcome bandit camps, the quiet peace of hunting or harvesting flowers, hanging out at the taverns and enjoying a good mead, and listening to music and the stories. In a way, when I played this game, I was home. Getting off work after a long shift and playing this game has been so therapeutic, between the high blood pressure of combat and the coziness of the rest of the game. It's amazing seeing myself start off the game frustrated and bothered that I have to actually pay attention, to feeling peace and being overjoyed that I get to experience a game like this. You need to experience this world for yourself and see what I see. The combat in this game is unlike any other I've played so far. With older RPGs like Oblivion and Skyrim, swordplay was just a game of whack-a-mole, while the combat in this game is very slow and deliberate. You will not get far if you try to be extremely aggressive to enemies. You'll need to learn how to block, how to counterattack, which part of their body to swing at, when to go in for a lower stab. Your bladed weapons will do good against low to medium armor opponents, but against the heavily armored knights, you will need weapons like maces to do blunt damage. I was brutalized and humbled dozens of times in combat, and I was pulling what hair I had left. But this was not to say it was unfair. These lessons are to force you to go through trial and error in combat. Also incentivizes you to keep your gear upgraded and fully operational, topping off on potions before big fights like I'm playing The Witcher. Soon you'll begin to master the art of war here, and become so proud of yourself of being able to overcome all of these obstacles. Any situation where I died, looking back, was honestly because of a skill issue. I either burned through my stamina too quickly, or didn't priority target, or just got too cocky and tried to go in for the kill early. This is a historical game, so don't expect any magic as well, like discussed earlier. You'll be using long swords, short swords, shields, axes, maces. You also have a variety of bows, crossbows, and hand cannons at your disposal. It was so exciting learning each weapon and finding out the best situations to use each one. I really started to feel like an experienced knight as I progressed, and man, this is just how you do an RPG so well. Warhorse should be so proud of themselves with making this game. Overall, I can't find a single issue with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. The world is massive and feels so lived in. For RPGs, this is the way to do it. This is going to be the example for the future of gaming. And I appreciate how historically accurate Warhorse tried to make this. It's not 100% accurate, but they did their best. They knew their audience, and they leaned into it, which attracted even more people. I want us to get back to really good RPGs where I fall in love with the world. The process of making a name for myself as a knight was such an adventure, and I want more games like this. I want to chase the feeling that this game gave me. I am proud to say, not only do I highly recommend Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, it has earned our channel's first legendary rating. This is the highest honor I can give a game, and I do not give it easily. Warhorse has created something special, and I can't wait to see what the DLCs will be like. I was completely immersed throughout my entire playthrough, and my suspension of disbelief was very rarely ever broken. I've been waiting to finally give a game my first legendary status on this channel, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has rightfully earned it. Congratulations, Warhorse, your game is going on TGN's equivalent of our Hall of Fame. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Please make sure to like and subscribe. We have come so far, and I'm so happy of the growth we have had. All of this is possible because of you. Thank you for your support, God bless you, and as always, come be our neighbor.